This is IBM Museum, and part of this token ringing in the new year, in a previous video I referred to a adapter that IBM produced, came out very late in the process of token ring as basically Ethernet was becoming the standard, and it is capable up to 100 megabit per second. But I thought I'd take a look at this because I don't know how developed this was, or how much released it was, how widely it had been adopted at all. I'm not really seeing too much evidence of that, but I do see drivers for this adapter out for Windows XP and other areas. Now mine, this is not really maybe necessarily a true unboxing from brand new, and I've had some stuff, I guess the box got wet or something else and had some stuff stuck to it, but we see on there is that high-speed token ring, and I'll go through, let's go through, and just so I have the full field of view here, that I know where I'm at on my screen. And we can see here that it it has for the PCI bus. It does even have a picture of the adapter, and I do see these online outside the box and everything else. And I don't know of the interconnecting equipment. I don't know if something as fancy as this A239, and of course all the stations that are on the ring segment, they have to be the same ring speed. So you would have to have other adapters that are able to do that 100 megabit token ring as well. And basically you can't just mix and match for these, effectively these lower speeds, the 16 megabit per second or the 4 megabit per second. And reading over this, high speed token ring adapter, automatic ring speed detection selection for 100, 16, and 4 megabit per second, operates at 100 megabit per second on UDP category 5 and STP cable. And UDP is unshielded twisted pair, and STP is shielded twisted pair. It has the wake on LAN and power management on now. I guess that's probably a particular standard for that on now. Lifetime limited warranty. It's options by IBM. And we see the green dot that's kind of common with token ring. As I mentioned on a previous video, green as my shirt. And it has the FRU part numbers going through around the box. Got a barcode. Okay. And we even have that in French. And then, of course, the same thing as on that other side. And then on the back of the box, we have the benefits and make ring speed selection. And you could go through, you could effectively have this board on a system like Windows XP. As I said, there's drivers, and you could have it set for a lower ring speed. You could have it set up for 16 megabit per second, or the original 4 megabit per second, be rather slow. But this would be a way to get a relatively system that still could be in operation out there onto a 16 megabit per second token ring network as well. And supports the most widely used personal computer and network operating systems. And then we have a little bit of talk of that wake on LAN. Contains both remote program load, RPL. I usually add the remote initial program load for RIPL. And DHCP is standard features. And technical specifications, the following software environments are supported: Novell Network version 4.1, OS2 Warp Client Server and Server SMP 4.0, Warp Connect 3, Microsoft Windows version 3.11, Windows NT version 3.51 and version 4, Windows 95, Windows 98, redundant NIC for NetWare 4.11, NT 3.51, and NT 4.0, DMI specification version 2, whatever that means. Minimum system requirements talks about the PCI slot being revision 2 or later, 32-bit or 64-bit bus master enabled slot. So it's a bus mastering adapter, of course. And the cable and the contents of the box. CD-ROM contained device drivers, and it might even be interesting to image that CD. Easy installation. And I have gone through, this box is open. I think I went through at a previous point, and I've probably checked out the contents, kind of looked things over. And by the way, I'm hoping that there's contents to this box, and the inner box looks a lot better condition. And contents we have and that's still in shrink wrapped packaging for the installation CD-ROM guide. So the CD-ROM can be used with DOS, Windows NT, Windows 95, Windows 98, and OS2. That DOS aspect, that might be kind of interesting as well. They would mention that. And kind of just try not have my ring light reflect too much. But that might be an interesting CD-ROM of possible up to 640 megabyte of possible data on that. We do have the wake up on LAN cable, kind of cabling, I guess, that can be adapted to the different wake on LAN setups. It looks like there's a few different cables in here, kind of just all twisted together. Not able to see. Okay, that's reversed. So we even have FRU part numbers and everything too. We'll get looking at the adapter and where these might tie into that. And then seeing that RJ45 plug, and I do remember that just moments ago that I said the diagnostic plug. So this is effectively a wrap plug that you go through, and you can put this on the adapter to go through and do testing in that RJ45 connection. And it looks like I've gone through and I've opened up the anti-static packaging previously, probably to look over the adapter and see what it looked like. And I think I only have one of these. I don't think I have a second adapter. There's and that green dot saying this 4/16 and then plus 100, and I've got the MAC address listed there. It's got some status lights, and it does do the older DB9 style connection in addition to that RJ45 connector, unshielded twisted pair or shielded twisted pair. And then there's some of the chips that are on that. PCI bus, and some of the labeling on the back. So part numbers and all that. And with the way things are, I'll get this back in the anti-static bag again. It does have that wake on LAN connection here or here for that wire that ties into, typically it ties into the motherboard of the system. Just like there's Ethernet adapters that are also wake up on LAN, and that just goes through. You can have this in a system and sending through a signal through the network. Even if that system is powered down, it goes through and powers up. Does a wake on LAN to power the system up, and it does have a manual in there as well. That looks to be in pretty good shape. March of 1996, 5th edition. And a lot of safety warnings, a little iconized for different and likely different languages in here as well, for probably a good part of the start of the manual. And even so yeah, that's the warnings. Is that the whole book? Wow. Yeah, that's that whole book is just warnings of your safety information, and all these different languages. And so we'll go through, and I don't see, as I say, I'd have to have a second adapter to go through and to try connecting at the 100 megabit per second speed. But that'd be interesting to kind of see. But wow, that's just a look over. I probably haven't been in that box for for quite some time. Just looking it over, and as I say, there is other ones of these adapters that are open box, and I mean, they talk about refurbished and all sorts of things. And for the places that this is sold, this has to be some sort of, developed in some form, or hit the marketplace and perhaps was used in places out there. Just be interesting to find out that supporting level equipment for what it took to run this adapter. So you want to get one too, they're out there. And the FRU part numbers to search for and all that to find it. So if you enjoyed this content, go ahead and click on that like button and subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already, please. But that's all I have for now. This is IBM Museum. Thank you.